Hey everyone, we had our first startup party last week and we had a great time getting to meet people, and so we're going to do it again. We'd love to meet you and see you there.
That's right, and you may be wondering, okay, well, what is a startup party? Help me with that. Well, basically, we are starting a brand new life-giving church, and we're so excited about that this is just an opportunity for us to celebrate the start of something new. And so these startup parties are designed to be just a low-pressure event to gather some people, get to know a few people, hang out, have some fun, and just kind of share our hearts for Pioneer Church.
Yeah, because you might be wondering, like, why start a church in Auburn, Washington? Why start a church in the middle of a pandemic? Well, we want to tell you all our whys.
So come on out this Saturday to our house at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're just going to gather, we're going to have some food, we're going to have some fun, have some laughs, and share a little bit about the heart of Pioneer Church. We hope to see you there. So the other day I was scrolling through social media and I saw a mug for sale that said, "I miss precedented times." And I thought to myself, that is the mug that I need to be drinking my coffee out of each morning, because, I mean, let's be honest, this year, 2020, has been the most overwhelming year. You know, it just feels like every single day we're bombarded with bad news. I mean, you can't watch the news, you can't look at your phone without seeing some report of COVID cases spiking across the nation. Feels like there's just more sickness going around, more death going around. The economy is struggling and people are losing their jobs. It's hard to even think a couple of weeks into the future because we just don't know how it's all going to work out. Like, we don't know, when our kids are going to go back to school and if they're going to go back to school the way that we've always done it. And it feels like all the rules and the regulations, and they're just changing all the time. It's hard to even know what to do and what we're allowed to do. And it just makes you go, man, do you remember precedented times? Oh, the good old days of 2019 where, like, we actually had an idea of what was coming. And it's easy to miss those times because unprecedented times bring with them so much opportunity for fear. And that's what I want to talk about for a few minutes, because I think fear is something that we've all had to deal with, at least on some level, in the year 2020. For example, Danielle and I, we've certainly dealt with fear. You may not know this. This may come as a complete shock to you, but planting a church during a pandemic was like not part of the plan. Okay, we didn't see this coming. This was not part of our strategy, and there is all sorts of fear that we've had to face. To be honest, I mean, there's been times where, like days where I've just thought, man, how are we going to do this? I mean, who plants a church when we can't gather? I mean, how do you recruit? How do you fundraise during this? I moved my family to Auburn. Are we going to be okay? And there's this very real fear that we've had to come face to face with in 2020, like so many of you. And so that's the question that I want to try to answer today, is how do you do that? Like, how do you face your fear and not let it take you out? How do you serve God boldly? How do you follow the call that He has for your life while simultaneously facing a very real fear? And there's a scripture that I know a lot of you know. Some of you probably have this scripture memorized, but this scripture has been just a place that Danielle and I have really leaned into during this season. And it's found in 2 Timothy 1:7. It says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear." Okay, so like, fear never comes from God. Like, never, ever, ever. It's never going to come from God. This is a spiritual law. It will always be true. And so if fear doesn't come from God, then the natural question is, okay, then what does come from God? And He tells us in the next part of this verse. It says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of sound mind." So what does that mean? Well, we're going to look at each one. The first one, God has given us a spirit of power. Here's what we need to remember when we're afraid, is that we as Christians have the very Spirit of God dwelling in us. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead dwells in us. That's what Romans 8:11 tells us. And so with that in mind, I've been thinking about the Old Testament story of Joshua quite a bit lately, where if you know the story, Moses has died and God has chosen Joshua to take on the mantle of leading God's people into the promised land. And that sounds great. I mean, on the surface, it's just like, wow, what an incredible honor. The only problem is that the land that God promised them was full of all kinds of obstacles that were standing in their way. I mean, there were giants in the land, there were fortified cities, there were militarized armies, there was all sorts of difficult terrain that they had to go through, and every one of those things threatened their lives. And so Joshua is trying to lead through this, and he is understandably dealing with all kinds of fear and discouragement. But listen to what God tells him in Joshua 1:9. I love this. God says, Joshua, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And I would love for you, just for a moment, will you let that verse speak to your soul? Because I'm telling you, this is still true in the year 2020. We can be strong, and we can be courageous. We don't have to be afraid. We don't have to be discouraged, because even in the middle of our fear, the Lord our God, He is with us, and He has given us a spirit of power. And so what else has He given us? He's given us a spirit of love. And here's the thing I've noticed about love. It is really hard to show love. It's really hard to express love when you give in to fear. Okay, why? Because when we're afraid, our natural reaction is to turn inward, right? I mean, have you ever noticed that? I mean, I've certainly noticed that in my life, that whenever I give in to fear, I become very inward focused. I go into protect mode. Like when I'm afraid, I think, man, I can't worry about anybody else. I can't worry about other people right now, because I've got to hold on to what's mine right now. I got to protect my family. I got to protect my health right now. I got to worry about my finances. I got to protect my future and my comfort. And you see, fear does that. It causes us to turn inward. But you see, God has not given us a spirit of fear. Now, you see, as Christians, we need to decide that, you know what? I know things are scary right now. I know the future is uncertain right now, but I'm not going to turn inward. I am not going to just cover myself. I'm not going to go into protect mode, because instead I'm going to turn out, and I'm going to pour into others right now. You say, well, why? Why would you do that? Why? Because I am full of the unconditional, unstoppable, unquenchable love of God. God has given us a spirit of power. He's given us a spirit of love. And He's also given us a spirit of a sound mind. You see, when we're afraid, there's this very real tendency to be just reactionary, right? Like think of Chicken Little. Oh, the sky is falling, and we make all our decisions based off the fear that we feel. But I'm telling you, God has empowered us to lean into understanding, and lean into wisdom, and lean into self-control. And here's what this practically means. And Danielle and I, we're not experts at this, but this is something that we're trying to do. We've just made a decision that, hey, we will not make decisions based off of fear in our life. We've just pre-decided that we're not going to do that. So anytime we feel this fear of, man, what if we fail? Or what if we get sick? Or what if something happens to our kids? I'm telling you, we have already decided that we're not going to make a decision based off that fear. You see, as Jesus followers, I'm telling you, we have to pre-decide that, you know what, I am not going to allow the voices of fear to influence the direction of my life. I just can't do that. Now, here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that as Christians that we just need to stick our head in the sand and we need to ignore the reality and we need to pretend problems don't exist. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that as Jesus followers, we don't make decisions based off of things that feed into our fear. And that could be a lot of things. I mean, this could be somebody's social media post. This could be a very scary statistic. This could even be the news. This could be a negative thought. This could be a bad report. And I'm telling you, we've just got to decide. We've got to pre-decide that, hey, I am not going to make decisions based off of fear. I'm not going to react to the fear that I feel. Why? Because God has given me a sound mind. He has given me a spirit of self-control. And so those are just three truths that Danielle and I, we have been leaning into. God has been teaching us this. We've been really trying to make this scripture come alive in our life. And my prayer is that you would too. Because let's face it, you're going to face fear. You're likely staring fear right in the face at this moment. But we don't have to give in. As a Jesus follower, we don't have to give in, because He has not given us a spirit of fear. He's given us a spirit of power and love and a sound mind. I hope this encourages you. God bless you.
All right, so hopefully our kids don't scream.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, here goes nothing. You are here, moving in my midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Touching every heart, I worship you, I worship you. You are here and healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here and turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. That is who you are. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. Yeah. And that is who you are. That is who you are. And that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, stop working, you never stop. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. And you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. And that is who you are. Yeah. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. Yes, you are, Lord. That is who you are. That is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
Hey everybody, I just want to thank you for joining us today. And if it's your first time checking us out, you might be wondering, okay, what in the world did I just watch? What are you guys supposed to be? And we're actually a church. We're Pioneer Church. And right now we're meeting digitally. We're meeting on Facebook and YouTube and our website. And we are a brand new church. And our heart is for the city of Auburn. We love our city. And we just so badly want to pour into the people of this city that we love so much. And so over the past few months, we've just been connecting with people, loving people in a tangible way. We've been providing meals for people, blessing our teachers. We've blessed our police department. We've partnered with Revive Church right here in Auburn to pass out groceries to people who are in need. And I just want you to know that so much of what we do would not be possible without the generosity of so many of you. I know that many of you give regularly, and I just want to thank you for that, because your giving is making a huge, huge difference. And so if you're checking us out for the very first time, I don't want you to feel obligated to give. In fact, there's no expectation of that. This service, this is our gift to you. But if you are watching this and you'd say, you know what, Kirby, I would like to support Pioneer Church and what you guys are doing, there's a great way for you to do that. You can go to our website, and there are multiple ways for you to give. And I just want you to know that everything that you give will go towards a life-giving church in the city of Auburn. Thank you so much, and God bless you.